careful if the fight goes on. Somebody's sucking there.
If you notice in this fight, Freddie, Morales doesn't throw any jabs.
If he moves that jab up to the chest,
He never throws jab. He wants to fight too much.
On May 5th.
Hey guys, Dr. Alex here, the Punch Doctor. Today we're going to be looking at the master mind games of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and how he used mind games and tactics against Oscar De La Hoya in their fight in 2007, where he took Oscar from aggressor to survivor. The fight was scheduled on May 5th, 2007. Floyd was coming off some big wins against Sharmba Mitchell, Arturo Gatti, Zab Judah, and Carlos Baldemir. Not the cream of the crop, however, he had a lot of momentum going to this fight and in the boxing world in general as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters at the time. At this point in Oscar's career, he had reached the pinnacle and was starting to get mixed results against the really top guys at the higher weight classes. Oscar, obviously a phenomenal fighter, won a bunch of different titles in different weight classes, fought a laundry list of outstanding opponents. However, at this point in his career, he had losses to Tito Trinidad, Shane Mosley twice, Bernard Hopkins, and a couple victories recently over Fernando Vargas, which is a few years prior, and Ricardo Mayorga. Now, Floyd would be Oscar's fourth fight since his loss to Shane Mosley in 2003. So that's only fourth fight in about 4 years, so not terribly active. However, Oscar is still a dangerous fight for Floyd. Oscar is naturally a bigger guy. He was a great champion, still a great champion, and Floyd would really need every advantage he could get in order to succeed against Oscar. And Floyd took advantage of Oscar's nice guy persona and used a few different mental tactics to wear down Oscar's confidence before the fight even took place. And he really took him from aggressor to survivor. He deflated Oscar's whole charismatic personality and really minimized him, made him feel small, and that played a large role, I think, in the fight. Now, it's impossible to know if Floyd didn't use these tactics, what the fight would have been like, how it would have turned out. However, I think that he had to do these types of things in order to improve his chances as much as possible against Oscar. And you saw the first clip when Freddie Roach is looking at Chico Corrales versus Floyd in their fight, where Chico, he said, he just wants to fight too much, not using his jab. And if you go back and watch the fight between Floyd and Oscar, you'll see that Oscar abandoned his jab for a long period of time in the fight. And then towards the end of the fight, Floyd just took over with a few, spots here and there of Oscar doing well. However, easy win for Floyd. Now, the techniques that I observed and want to cover here are Floyd's overt displays of confidence through speech and physical posturing. The circus atmosphere that Floyd created brought a lot of attention on himself, did things to make a mockery out of Oscar, and he's used these tactics in other fights, notably the Ricky Hatton fight, which I'll talk about in another video. He used also offensive verbal aggression or smack talk, which tested Oscar's resolve and put Oscar on the defensive a lot. And Floyd's overt displays, Floyd's overt displays of confidence through speech and physical posturing. All right, without any more further ado, let's get into it.
Nothing. You put him in front of me and I'll beat him. I'm the top dog in the sport. That's why he's facing me.
So Floyd comes out aggressive at the first press conference. Comes out strong. And so does De La Hoya. De La Hoya comes out and, as you'll see in a minute, says he's going to touch him and hurt him. He's going to be hurting for 6 days or something like that.
It takes two to make a mega fight. And he's a hell of a champion. And I'm a hell of a champion. And that's why we're making this fight. And it's more like this. He can have heart. He can have heart. He can hit harder than me. He can be stronger than me. And he can be faster than me. But there's no fighter out there that's mentally smarter than me.
Come May 5th, when I touch you, you're going to hurt for a week. You're going to hurt for a week. And believe me, come May 5th, I'm going to give you something to cry about.
So pretty aggressive off the bat. No nonsense. Letting Floyd know, hey, I'm here to fight. I'm here to fight. However, that does not last too long, as you'll see.
I'm the top dog. You remember that.
Can't be two good guys. I chose to be the bad guy. Fuck it.
I'm gonna beat you till you respect me. I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna make you call me pretty. I'm gonna beat you like that.
I'm still gonna beat his ass.
So here you see Floyd's verbal aggression and his physical posturing, getting in Oscar's face, telling him what he's going to do, how he's the best, and really taking on that villain role. And incidentally, in this fight, this is when Floyd became Money Mayweather. He was always Pretty Boy up until now. However, this fight really was part of the transition into his new persona, the villain persona, the heel, Money Mayweather, which he used to make tons of money going forward. People either loved him or loved to hate him and wanted to watch him get beat. So it helped him out in two ways.
Come on up here, Oscar. Bring Oscar up here. There you go. There you go.
He stole my bag, took my belongings, few books I had in there, my boxing gloves. I'm a professional. I've been in this ballgame for a long time. I've been in many big fights. It's not gonna work.
But it is working. Obviously, Oscar's getting upset. You know, Floyd's getting under his skin, brings out the chicken, calls him a chicken. And now Floyd's really getting under Oscar's skin. You can see Oscar still has, you know, his personality is still there, still somewhat energetic. However, you'll see that it starts to diminish pretty significantly. He starts going inside of himself, you know, stewing, getting annoyed, and this all helps Floyd out tremendously.
He said I stole his training gear. Okay, well, do something about it May 5th. That's all I gotta say. Okay, I stole your shit. Now do something about it. Do something about it.
To me, kicking Oscar ass.
For De La Hoya, developing a dislike for Floyd Mayweather Jr. has been easy in the wake of Mayweather's behavior during an 11-city, 9-day press tour in late February.
You have the pound-for-pound champion of the world acting like out of his mind. He couldn't control himself.
I'm gonna make it a rough and tough fight come May 5th.
I'm so scared. Hi, my name Oscar De La Hoya. I'm gonna do this. You ain't gonna do shit. He wanna say things I say. He wanna get on the camera and say shit, fuck, damn. He gotta keep up his fake image. I'm real, man.
Oscar has no flexibility to be anyone but his Golden Boy persona, because that's who he is. Floyd was Pretty Boy, but now he's going into Money Mayweather. He's developing the heel role, the villain role. So, you know, he's correct. Oscar can only really behave one way. If he went on the offensive, people would probably be turned on because he has this Golden Boy image. So there we go, where Floyd's using that against him to continue driving in the screw.
Let me tell you about Oscar, brother. Oscar, brother, is a bitch.
Oscar, his brother, none of them even cut like that. They don't want no confrontation.
I don't know. Don't be a motherfucking fighter. You don't want no confrontation, little bitch. I want some confrontation straight up.
Oscar's one of those cats that if you get under his skin a little bit and so forth, he's going to take it personal. And dealing with Floyd's antics, the way he treated Oscar in the press tour, a lot of people want to see him shut this Mayweather's mouth.
So Floyd knows that Oscar watches 24/7. He's going to watch it to get whatever he might be able to out of Floyd's training camp, a look into his mentality, things like that. And now Floyd pretty publicly is calling out Oscar in pretty negative terms. And Freddie Roach even says that was going to get under his skin, and people want to see Oscar shut Floyd's mouth. So now instead of just doing, you know, perhaps the best boxing job possible, which Oscar's a great boxer, obviously, you know, he's going to try to want to maybe punish Floyd or hurt him or something. And ultimately, that's gonna end up hurting Oscar in the fight, as you'll see if you go back and watch it.
I think about Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s position, you know, what he's going through. I can face the best fighters in the world, but when they face me, it's like they freeze. This event is so big. When you're used to fighting in front of 2,000-3,000 people like Floyd Jr., it can add a lot of pressure on you. He's been doing all the talking, let him back it up.
Let's get this right. I've been calling Oscar out for years. I said, I'll fight the motherfucker in Puerto Rico, I'll fight the motherfucker in Mexico. Let's just make the fight happen.
Let him come to me. Come on.
Does Oscar really think Floyd is going to freeze on the big stage against Oscar? At this point in his career, Floyd has had several big marquee fights. He's not fighting in front of 2,000 or 3,000 people. I don't know where Oscar's getting that. If he's just trying to justify to himself, maybe build himself up. You see how his mood there is just so it's diminished already. It's very much subdued compared to the Oscar we saw before. So this stuff is starting to really get to him.
He know he gonna get beat. It's just how he gonna get beat. That's what he better worry about.
For most fighters, training camp is all work and no play. Then again, Floyd Mayweather isn't most fighters. But when it does come time to work, few attack the task with his intensity.
Now you can compare Floyd's attitude and confidence level. It's an overt display of confidence, goofing around, acting fun, having fun in the gym, and you compare that to Oscar, where he's being all serious and really stewing about things. And that's, like I mentioned in the beginning, an overt display of confidence.
Serious business. If you're not ready, you're gonna get hurt seriously. It's gonna be that type of fight. I'm willing to punch as hard as I can, as fast as I can, until I can't lift my arms. I'm willing to do that. Is he?
Seriously, Oscar? You're willing to punch as hard as you can, as much as you can? What did you say exactly? Are you serious? That doesn't really show a whole lot of conviction. I mean, if you've watched Floyd before in face-offs at press conferences and whatnot, he's routinely talked about willing to die in the ring, and he's even prodded his opponent, like, hey, are you willing to go that far? So the idea that you're gonna somehow outwork him, or you're willing to go farther than he is, I don't think so.
I'm gonna beat your ass. He want to be known as a legend, and I'm known as a living legend. When they mention Sugar Ray Robinson, they mention Floyd Mayweather. When they mention Muhammad Ali, they mention Floyd Mayweather. Oscar's name was never brought up then. When you talking about the best fighter, you talking about Floyd Mayweather.
Just an old dog trying to survive in this game.
So now you see the comparison. Floyd's saying, I'm going to beat your ass. And then he's saying, you know, you might contribute this. I mean, people always say Floyd's insecure and whatnot. You know, he might have something to prove. Obviously, that's one of the things that he holds on to the most and is most proud of is his legacy. He's fighting a lot for that. You know, also money. I think legacy was a huge part of it. But now you see the difference. Floyd is comparing himself to the all-time greats, which, of course, he is. And Oscar's saying he's an old dog in the game just trying to survive. Like, if that doesn't give you an idea into Oscar's mentality, I don't know what does. It's not very confidence-inspiring.
Obviously, Oscar fighting the very best and beating the very best.
This dude Oscar the Hoya is a fan of Floyd Mayweather. Why you hire my dad? Why you hire my dad? He want to fight like me.
Fighting the very best and beating the very best. Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing to say. However, compared to Floyd, it seems like a kind of a passive statement. And then as far as Floyd's position that Oscar hired Floyd Sr. because he wants to fight like Floyd, I mean, that may or may not be true. However, Oscar probably did recognize how good Floyd is and how good he has been and said, hey, I want to know, you know, what he knows. I want to fight, you know, perhaps a little bit more like Floyd. Wouldn't hurt anyone, right?
I'll put on the best performance of my life.
The Mayweathers couldn't appear more relaxed, trading dance moves while they wait for things to get going. Down the hall, Oscar de la Hoya is accepting visitors, including a familiar face from his days growing up in Los Angeles.
Compare these two locker room or backstage scenes. Floyd is confident, he's dancing around, he's happy, doesn't look anxious, looks comfortable, looks confident. Oscar's dressing room or backstage looks like a funeral.
Former Dodger manager Tommy Lasorda.
Las Vegas once again. It's always a pleasure. And well, we're ready for this fight. I mean, what can I say? I'm expecting the best of the best. All the attention will be on boxing May 5th. And now it's up to us two fighters to fight as hard as we can. And I don't expect any less. I know in my part, I'm gonna fight as hard as I can. Thank you.
I want to thank my team. Thank the media. I'm here. I know what it takes. I'm hungry. I want the fight so bad. May 5th, you're going to see the best Floyd Mayweather. Thank you.
So now you see it's the press conference before the last press conference before the fight. Both guys, did what they had to do. They trained. Floyd, obviously, like I mentioned, used overt displays of confidence through speech and physical posturing, created a circus-like atmosphere, used a lot of offensive verbal aggression or smack talk to diminish and to make Oscar smaller, and really put Oscar on the defensive. I think you could see throughout the video, Oscar started strong. However, now he's become much more subdued. He's got into himself. Floyd got under his skin, and we all know how the fight went. Now, it was a split decision for Floyd. Oscar did have some moments. Overall, I think Floyd's pre-fight techniques and mind games really worked. Oscar abandoned his jab, which is the strongest punch in boxing, the most important punch in boxing, and just really tried to fight. And he had moments, however, abandoning the jab, and Floyd just coming on like he usually does in the later rounds sealed the victory for Floyd. So that's all I got for you now. Stay tuned for more videos. If you have a comment or want to reply to something in the video, please put a comment down below. Like and subscribe, and I look forward to bringing you more. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.